Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
Tonight on News 6, concerns along the coast as parts of Central Florida get ready for severe weather. What you need to know.
Plus, a fight at the basketball court leads to the shooting death of a teen and a school placed on lockdown. A quick-thinking school resource officer who was able to reel in the suspect.
And out of control, from surveillance cameras to fencing, one man is struggling to keep people from illegally dumping on his property. Well, right now, a flash flood warning in Brevard County. This comes as the coast could see even more flooding tomorrow.
A weather alert day has been issued for tomorrow. Good evening to you. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. Let's get you right over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, who is tracking it all for us right now. Jonathan.
Yeah, so the first part of the equation is the freshwater flooding, which is what we're seeing right now across parts of Central Florida. Then we have the saltwater flood threat really ramping up tomorrow as a result of the tidal forces, the astronomical impacts from the moon, and then also the strong easterly winds are going to pick up. Those winds are helping to generate these downpours here. Where we have the flash flood warning right now, this is going to be for Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, into Cocoa itself. The good news is all the heaviest stuff is now slid out of the flash flood warned area. It's still raining, certainly not as hard, but what I'm watching for now is this band is working in from east to west. It's kind of gearing up and focusing to the south and west of that area again. So really going to be watching over the next couple of hours through the overnight for parts of Satellite Beach and into Melbourne, Palm Bay. The other band that I'm tracking, this one's just getting ready to move through the Orlando metro area. This is back through Seminole County now, parts of northern Brevard County. That has prompted a flood advisory. So that's the threat we have to deal with overnight. And then we talk about the saltwater flooding. We're going to have much more on both of those coming up in a couple of minutes. Again, we do have a flood watch again until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. That's for the rain. Coastal flood warning, that's for the salt water, for the ocean kind of being pushed inland. If you picked up flooding or close to flooding with this most recent round of higher tides, then you might get some flooding out of this round because we're expecting things to be a half a foot to a foot higher than what we saw this last go around. We'll talk much more about that flood threat coming up at about 10:19, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. A fight at a basketball court ends with a teen dead in Orange County. Investigators say the young suspect was captured by a school resource deputy.
The sheriff's office says the shooting took place near the YMCA off Oak Ridge Road. News 6 community correspondent Troy Campbell is at the scene with the details. Troy.
Investigators have since cleared the scene here at the basketball court where the shooting took place. We're told one person is dead and the shooter is in custody because of a school resource deputy. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says deputies were called to the 800 block of West Oak Ridge Road in Orlando on Thursday after reports of a shooting. Investigators say when they showed up, they discovered a teen had been shot after some sort of altercation on a basketball court. Law enforcement says the young man was shot and then transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The sheriff's office says the shooter tried to get away from the area, so he attempted to run towards nearby Oak Ridge High School. Thankfully, detectives say a school resource deputy noticed him and quickly detained him. The scare, however, put Oak Ridge on lockdown. Orange County Public Schools says this occurred after dismissal. Students and staff that remain on campus are safe. The lockdown was soon lifted. Orange County patrol vehicles were seen parked near the basketball court into the evening on Thursday as they continued to collect evidence. Video also shows several people attempting to get close to the shooting scene as detectives blocked off the area. And as of now, the sheriff's office has not released the identity of either the victim or the shooter. And of course, we will continue to keep you updated on clickorlando.com. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
In Marion County, a convicted child killer who was released from a Kentucky prison early has been arrested in Central Florida. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says Ronald Exantis moved into a home next to the Sunrise Elementary in Ocala and failed to register as a convicted felon within 48 hours of moving. In 2015, Exantis was found not guilty by reason of insanity in the stabbing death of a 6-year-old. However, he was found guilty for stabbing the child's sisters and father. He ended up only serving half of his 20-year sentence and was released early. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier says he's also looking into this arrest, saying he's working with state officials to send him back to Kentucky.
Now to a story you will see only on News 6. More than 5 years ago, an Orange County deputy shot and killed Salathis Melvin outside the Florida Mall. Prosecutors never charged the deputy who pulled the trigger, but tonight we've learned exclusive details about a financial settlement between the Orange County Sheriff and Melvin's family. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest has been trying to get that settlement agreement for months. Here's his report.
I'm News 6 investigator Mike DeForest. I have exclusively obtained this settlement agreement between the Orange County Sheriff's Office and the family of a man who was shot and killed by a deputy. According to this settlement, the family has received a payout of $1 million. 21-year-old Salathis Melvin was shot dead outside the Florida Mall in August 2020 by an undercover Orange County deputy sheriff. The shooting caused a public outcry, with protesters demanding the release of body camera video. Investigators say Deputy James Montiel was in the Florida Mall parking lot attempting to arrest a different man on a warrant when Melvin began running away. According to authorities, Melvin was holding a gun that they later discovered had been stolen. As Melvin ran away, investigators say Deputy Montiel shot him in the back. Now, the sheriff's office and state investigators eventually cleared Deputy Montiel of any criminal wrongdoing. Melvin's mother later sued Orange County Sheriff John Mina and Deputy Montiel, alleging civil rights violations. This past summer, the parties settled that lawsuit, but the terms of that settlement agreement were not disclosed until I obtained it. Under the settlement, Salathis Melvin's mother received $1 million. The family's attorneys received an additional $300,000 to cover their legal costs. That money was paid by the Florida Sheriff's Risk Management Fund, which provides liability insurance to law enforcement agencies. Now, besides the financial payout, as part of the settlement agreement, now former Deputy James Montiel agreed to write an apology letter to Melvin's family. Now, that apology letter is considered confidential and cannot be shared with any news media, law enforcement, or prosecutorial authority. The sheriff's office fired Montiel last year after he was arrested on completely unrelated criminal charges, including possession of child pornography. He's pleaded not guilty to those charges. As this settlement agreement notes, the sheriff and Montiel have denied any liability for Melvin's death. Reporting in the newsroom, Mike DeForest, News 6.
Well, safety is a non-negotiable. That's part of the message tonight from the Florida Department of Education. The agency released a stern memo to all district leaders earlier today. This comes after a school employee at Sable Elementary in Longwood admitted to having violent thoughts toward the students. He resigned afterward, and officials say the school was never under any active threat, but parents say they weren't notified for days. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, is looking into what the state is claiming and the response we got today from the district.
My initial reaction is that the facts here are extremely disturbing and frankly unacceptable.
Florida's Department of Education commissioner didn't hold back when speaking one-on-one with News 6 or in this memo he sent Thursday to every superintendent in the state. He says Seminole County's administration seemed more concerned with optics rather than immediate safety after a paraprofessional at Sable Point Elementary admitted to having thoughts about threatening a student. Do you think Seminole County Public Schools handled this situation appropriately?
Well, we're going to fact find and figure out what exactly happened.
The commissioner tells me what he does know is that parents, not just here at Sable Point, but throughout the district, should have been notified immediately about the incident after it happened.
I think they really dropped the ball in letting people know.
Parents were sent a message from the principal 9 days after. A court filing shows the paraprofessional told a school resource officer he thought about harming a 6-year-old student and had previous thoughts about what it would be like to bring a gun to school.
Our tax dollars go to pay for these professionals to keep our kids safe when they're not around. So somebody dropped the ball. Hopefully they'll look at it.
Earlier this week, online outrage made its way to the school board in person, where staff at Sable Point also spoke out.
We are the first line of defense to protect our precious students, and you left us like sitting ducks.
The superintendent addressed the backlash by offering insight about the employee's background and the conversations within the district since September.
It's something that we are looking to see if we can do a better job.
She also says the para passed a background check and the district was not notified about 2 other encounters with law enforcement earlier this year because he was not arrested. Is it reasonable to expect the district could have done more?
It is. I think, it's not just a background check where you see if the individual has priors, it's reference checks. So we want to make sure that every district in our state is doing everything they can.
The school district did send another message to families on Thursday saying this incident exposed a vulnerability in the process and they are committed to strengthening their procedures moving forward. In the meantime, the commissioner says his office is making sure this now former employee cannot be hired at any other schools. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
A man with a history of making violent threats against schools has been trespassed from another school because deputies say he threatened to kill students. This latest incident started a lockdown at Space Coast Junior Senior High School. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office says Marvin Guth lives just down the street from the school, and back in March, he made threats to burn down Enterprise Elementary School next door. Guth went to jail for a month in that case. Your Port St. John community correspondent James Barbero spoke to parents as they picked up their kids from school early.
Have you heard the man's known to the school and he's been trespassed, not only from this school, but from an elementary school in the neighborhood too?
So I did, actually, my daughter had sent me a picture of his mugshot. Me and my coworkers were all talking about it. We're surprised that, he's out and about and is able to go and do this.
Now, the sheriff's office also says Guth missed a hearing today for an open case in which he's accused of threatening to kill deputies. Tonight, he is back in jail until his first appearance in front of a judge tomorrow. Deputies say he won't get a bond, but if the judge decides to release him, we'll let you know first on clickorlando.com.
Well, just when an Orlando man thought it was safe to go outside, trash is now being dumped across the street from his house.
Yeah, we first told you how we got results for him back in April when he called us about the illegal dumping at the corner of Carey Street and Concord Avenue in Pine Hills.
Now, your Pine Hills community correspondent Jarrell Baker goes back to help the homeowner a second time.
It seemed like David Slyman's nightmare was over when Orange County crews installed surveillance cameras and cleaned up dozens of pieces of trash illegally dumped on his property off of Concord Avenue in Pine Hills earlier this year. But the owner of this property now tells me that people are coming across the street to his second property and continuing to illegally dump.
Every week they come in and they dump. Now it's getting out of control.
And as doors, car parts, and more pile up across the street, people are still finding ways to dump on the original property, which the community alerted the News 6 results desk about.
We installed the fence. They're still knocking through the fence and, going into and dumping.
Slyman claims that people are pushing further into his property to leave their junk to avoid dealing with the county.
It's whatever on the right-of-way, whatever it's on the street side. It's on the property, they consider that is a private property and they don't get into the property.
He says it's costing him thousands to clean up, which he says is unfair.
I had to hire a bobcat to come in and they charge me $500 per hour.
Orange County Public Works tells me they constantly send crews to clean the property throughout the week and make good on their promise to set up cameras and signage. This is what the county commissioner told us last time.
The long term is looking for signage, cameras, lighting to discourage folks from dumping illegally.
But Slyman says it's just not enough.
What more does the county need to do just to help you out with this situation?
I mean, I literally don't know, but I will know that they need to make sure that they monitor it more and they take it seriously and go through the footage and see who is dumping and and go after them.
He reached out to the Orange County Sheriff's Office asking how often they monitor the area and whether anybody has been caught dumping since the cameras were set up. They plan to follow up with us on Friday. In Pine Hills, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
News 6 continues right after the break.
Including a major honor given out by Disney, how they are paying tribute to a mariachi legend during Hispanic Heritage Month.
Plus, will the Tampa Bay Rays have a roof to play under? An update on the progress being made after the Trop was damaged by Hurricane Milton. You're watching News 6 at 10. We're covering Leesburg, Winter Springs, and all of Central Florida. Hello, mic check. It's one of the most memorable.
Yes, testing, 1, 2, 3. It was one of the most memorable sites in the aftermath.
Oh. Testing 1 2. Hope my mic wasn't on for that comment. Mic check. Oh, it's still a little rough. Is it? I wonder if it's this guy. This thing.
Hold on. Try it again.
Mic check. Testing 1 2. Check 1 2. Yeah. I guess Ginger will have to do the rest of the show, guys.
I'll share a mic. I'll hold it like a tiny mic.
Hello, hello, hello. Mic check 1 2 3. Hold it, Steve.
Well, it was one of the most memorable sights in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. You remember this? The storm made landfall 1 year ago today at 8:30. Now, some of the first daylight footage revealed the condition of Tropicana Field's roof. It was shredded by winds. The field was meant to be a shelter and a staging site for first responders during the storm, but then that happened. Right now, the roof is still being repaired. Now, these are photos the city of St. Petersburg released in August showing the progress being made there. Just this week, the Tampa Bay Rays' new owner promised to repair Tropicana Field and start the search for a permanent ballpark. Oh, I like it. During this Hispanic Heritage Month, Walt Disney World is honoring the Mariachi Cobre directors with its Legacy Award. Steven Esteban Carrillo has been performing for millions of visitors who walk by the Epcot Mexico Pavilion to the sounds of trumpets and violins.
Having that award and knowing that it's only 1% people that are nominated for that, I do feel proud because I always looked up to my brother. He's the one that inspired me, and about 8 years ago he got the award.
And get this, he was also featured in one of the Mariachi Forever stamps by the U.S. Postal Service. And you know who likes stamps?
Miss Ginger Gadsden. She collects them. Maybe
oh my
I'll
gosh,
have to get that
I'm
one.
going to have to find that one. I did not know that he was actually on it, so
That
it has
totally
a special connection.
Takes me to the Epcot Pavilion inside where they have the little boat ride.
Oh,
it is a good
yeah.
time
Very
in
nice.
there.
Very
All right,
nice.
meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, he is tracking some real weather tonight.
Yeah, some big-time thunderstorms off our coast. The heavy rain has been pushing in all evening long, and we're watching that again. We have a flash flood warning still in play until midnight tonight for the Cocoa Beach, Cocoa area, Port Canaveral. The good news is the heaviest rain has shifted back south out of that warned area. You can get all the alerts, and you can track these downpours and thunderstorms through the overnight. In all likelihood, we're keeping them for most of the overnight as well with the free News 6 weather app. We were talking about this earlier and yesterday along and southeast of I-4. That's the best opportunity for the heavy rain. That's the best opportunity for some flooding overnight. You're like, what are you talking about, heavy rain? In Ocala, Denell, and the Villages. We're going to stay on the drier side. Tomorrow afternoon may have a few stray downpours in the mix, but by and large, I think we're going to see the heaviest stuff pretty much on the eastern side of the Florida Peninsula. So here's 11 o'clock tonight. Future Radar doing a pretty good job. I think it's overdone at least in between the two bands, but nonetheless, it has the right idea with keeping the heaviest stuff right along the coast through the overnight and then when you wake up tomorrow morning. So again, early heads up on your morning commute tomorrow along I-95 through parts of I-4. You're going to be doing some dodging of some very heavy rain. There's the possibility for some flooded roadways if this heavy rain continues tonight, and in some degree it is expected to continue along the coast. That's 5 o'clock on your Friday. Still a stray downpour left out there, but we are going to kind of wind down on the freshwater flood threat as the saltwater flood threat then takes over with the higher tides coming through. Again, we're watching for the potential rainfall amounts to really start to increase. We've picked up anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain in parts of Cocoa Beach, so not far-fetched to pick up another several inches right along the coast going forward. So something that we are watching closely for the rest of tonight and for the first half of tomorrow. Speaking of which, here's your forecast. Rain chances up to 60%, especially right along into the south and east of I-4. Drier the further west of Orlando you are, with temperatures getting back into the low to mid 80s. Live look in Daytona Beach. It's still a little soggy out there tonight. You see the rain on the lens when you're looking into the light there. Temperatures are hanging out into the mid 70s with the rain around. The wind is picking up. That's helping to generate those downpours, sustained now out of the northeast at about 20 miles an hour. For that coastal flood warning, again, that flood threat brought on by the higher than normal tides and the Atlantic literally being pushed inland a little bit. We're focused and concerned with the high tides really through about Sunday, at least in the morning. High tides tomorrow will start off the cycle here of the concern about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning along the East Coast. It'll go back to low tide around dinner time and then back up to high tide tomorrow night close to this time. So that's where we're really going to start watching again for those higher impacts due to the saltwater flooding on the coast. Things get better significantly, but still, even though we have sunshine Saturday and Sunday, we're still likely going to be dealing with some inundation along the immediate coastline because of the higher than normal tides. Again, that kind of flood, it's not brought on by rain, it's brought on by the tidal forces and a storm close by. It's very comfortable, though. Temperatures back to the low to mid 80s for the most part for the week ahead. We're starting off in the 60s, and the humidity white clean. Does have to get through the next couple of days, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. News 6, we'll be right back.
I'm News 6 business reporter Donovan Myrie. The growth of mobile sports betting has exploded over the last 7 years. Does America now have a new online obsession with gambling? I'll have that story coming up next. Legal online sports betting in the U.S. has exploded in the last decade, and it all started with the Supreme Court. In 2018, the court's decision on PASPA, the Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act of 1992, handed states the power to decide for themselves whether to legalize sports betting. And in just 7 short years, the growth has been nothing short of staggering. Back in 2018, gamblers wagered over $300 million in a month. By 2021, it was $7 billion a month. Fast forward to 2023, and Americans legally bet nearly $120 billion for the year. That's an average of almost $10 billion per month. So what's fueling the boom? Analysts point to 3 factors. 1, convenience. You can bet with just a tap on your phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 2, low entry barriers. Minimum bets make it feel more like low-stakes entertainment than high-stakes gambling. And then there's the lure of a big payoff, number 3, risking just a few dollars at a time. Flutter, the parent of FanDuel, believes the U.S. market for sports betting and online casino games could hit $63 billion annually by 2030. So what about the Sunshine State? In Florida, Hard Rock Bet, run by the Seminole Indian tribe, is the only legal sports book. DraftKings, FanDuel, and PrizePicks are available, but only for fantasy contests. Finally, the real story outside of Florida will be what happens when big states like California, Texas, and Georgia finally open their doors to online gambling. I'm Donovan Myrie, News 6.
Find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It's free to download to your smart TV or streaming device. Have yourself a great night.